Welcome, welcome. Hello, Tamunotonye Settima-Benebo. It's so good to have you here with us. Thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Good to be on here. I'm actually pretty excited.
We love chatting, so this is gonna be fun for us.
Yeah, like I'm just like I'm even I'm excited I'm like I'm the one talking, but I'm excited because I know that it will be such a good time.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. I think we'll just start off with, okay, let me just share my why on why I started this supposed to be a monthly series, but really it's just a strong desire in my heart to, share as many lessons as possible with the younger generation coming behind us. The world is changing so rapidly, and I know that there's so many different advancements. And I think that it's really important that as we learn lessons through our experiences, and just all the different things that we do as millennials, for lack of a better word, I think it's really important that we share those lessons with, Gen Z and other generations coming after us so that they don't have to waste time making the same mistakes. They can just take our lessons, run with it, and do mighty things. So we've been friends for a little while now, and I've just been a part of the background of you doing so many amazing things. And I thought, who better than to ask to come on and just share some of the lessons so that you can just kind of guide us and, share some of your wisdom. So tell us a little bit about yourself and whatever it is that you're working on right now that's exciting you.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Hawa, for having me. And when you said that part of um you have been a part of like just some things I'm starting, I was just about to be like, me too. And that's why it's so exciting because I can also like relate. I feel like we are both in a place together. Like yours might be going to Lagos to Dubai, mine might be Lagos to UK, but we are going somewhere but on a trip. So that's good. Yeah, thanks for having me. Introducing myself. Apart from my very long name, um, I am by profession a project manager and a quality assurance engineer. Pretty much in the tech space, basically anything around software products. So ensuring that the products are built on time and that the products are built according to specifications. So then I have to test it to be sure that it's working. And then beyond my 9 to 5 job, I'm also a servant at Abbas Games. It's an expression of God that is focused on Christian entertainment to two major streams. So events, game nights, and then gaming products as well. So gaming events and gaming products. And we've obviously released our first card game, which I'm excited about. So that's pretty much me. I'm a foodie. And I love meaningful relationships. Those are two things that I love.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So you've talked about the project management role, and I know from my chats with you that you went from communications to your current role, and then obviously you've got the card game. So perhaps you can just kind of walk us through that journey of transition, how it was for you moving from one role to the other, and then maybe taking all those lessons and using it to create your card game.
Okay, so my journey in one diagram has been like this. But yeah, communications from the beginning, I studied mass comm, had my master's. I'm deeply rooted academically in communications. And to think that I'm not practicing that now is even like a story for another day. But yeah, I started out with that. And then my first job was in communications as well, but I wasn't really feeling it because of the environment. I was very short-sighted at that time. When you just come out of school and all you just want is the money. Yeah, and then I was working in civil service, but like my mom would say, it was like a communications agency, national orientation agency. So it was I was even leading like their radio station, right, which was quite big. I was on the DG's floor. Somebody that just finished school, do you get? But they know they hear what. I mean, it was good, right? And I had access to the DG. We do programs, we do this on that, but obviously looking for something exciting for someone that was exposed at that my level, probably because of the environment of just how civil service can be,
Mm.
right? I wasn't really enthusiastic and I wanted something else. So I started applying for jobs. I got a job in an oil and gas industry and, quit that one when they're just really doing all those oil and gas baby girl life. I did BD and sales there. It didn't take me too long to realize that I'm not sure I'm really feeling this as a career option. And then I started doing some, I was like, oh, let me see if how I can go back to communications. That didn't do so well because of my organization. But where I saw a gap was internal communication. So communicating with staff, doing like some employee engagement, things like that. So I started doing that just so that I have something I'm doing apart from business development and sales. Then I was speaking to somebody and an opportunity came for me to pivot to tech as a software tester. But because I had like 8 years experience working with oil and gas, working in a proper office. It was BD, but I mean, you're managing projects, you're managing clients. So I pivoted to the tech company to do software testing, but because I was able to translate my transferable skills there. And so that's how I went into project management for their tech projects, but also did a course, learned how software testing works. And then that's how I got into that field and I've been there since. How I got into the games now was pretty much desire. There's a whole lot of story to it, but just desire to see Christians have a good time.
Mm.
Just a desire to, because I mean, I usually go for game nights. It's nice, it's everything. As my work deepened in Christ, I realized that I'm like, I want to go for game nights and have conversations and have things that when I come back, I still feel edified.
Mm.
Yeah. And I thought it was just a burden that I carried. I didn't know that God was actually interested in it and, pushed it forward. But pretty much that's where that came from. Because I enjoy games. I enjoy my best hangouts are parlor hangouts, like small gatherings where we're gisting, we're playing. And so I just translated that into my space of Christian culture.
I love that so much. I just wrote down that you enjoy it because I think that's one of those key things. Especially, well, I guess I can speak for myself, but growing up, I didn't expect that I would enjoy my work or whatever it is I was supposed to do. I just figured there's going to the office and doing whatever it is you need to do to get money, and then there's just having fun. But I'm seeing now, I'm learning or shifting my mindset about it. Like there's this intersection of finding that place where like from what you enjoy, what makes you happy, being able to take that and create it into something that actually adds value to people's lives and can add value to your life too. So I think that's pretty
Yeah.
amazing, and I think that that's a really important lesson. But there's a question I want to ask you. I know this isn't something that I initially planned to. But as you
Okay.
were talking about your journey and pivoting and transitioning, like how did you know when to at certain points? Obviously, at the beginning you just were like cruising, but like at a certain point, I'm sure it became like you were being a little bit more strategic. Like how did you know when it was time to shift, to go to, oops, sorry. How did you know when to shift, to move from one space to the other? Like,
Um, okay, let me see. Let me try and answer this very honestly and practically. I think majorly it was unsatisfaction,
mm,
right? all through. So even the first place where I moved for the wrong reasons,
Mm.
I was not satisfied with where I was working
Yeah.
as a civil servant at that time. I thought I'd be working like one of the telcos, because then telcos were the in thing before tech came about. If you're working in like one of MTN, this, you're like, and I'm like, yeah. So I was unsatisfied. That's what made me move. When I was in the oil and gas industry too, I was unsatisfied with the place where like my current role. I just felt like I wanted to do something more meaningful. Because of the peculiarity of that role, I couldn't make much impact, or my role didn't have much impact in terms of the bigger picture of the organization, right? So meaningfulness means a lot to me. I don't know if that's English is too much, but it really kind of, yeah, I was unsatisfied with that. And so I started looking for more. And to put some context, I didn't get the job immediately. I was unsatisfied, but I was trying to do things to make myself to fill that void. So that's why I started doing things within the same organization, but I was now into, like, I was working in two departments. They didn't send me to that other place. So if I wouldn't have told them that I wanted to move to that
Yeah.
department, they said, no, you should do both. If you feel like doing that, no problem, but do both. But this BD, you will be here. So I did that just out of passion. I wasn't paid for it. I wasn't getting anything, but I was like, okay, I want to do that. I volunteered a lot that period, um,
Mm.
with trying to see how I could do my communication. So I volunteered with Leap Africa, volunteered with She. In fact, what's the name of it? But volunteered a bit just so that I'm feeling that void instead of just waiting while I was still applying and all that. But I volunteered a lot until I landed the gig eventually, and I knew, like, okay, yeah, I would move. I was even ready to take a pay cut,
Mm. Wow.
moving to the place, but I knew the prospects of who I would be just moving in there.
Mm.
But eventually, as God will have it, it's the remuneration wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Do you get? So that still worked out fine. But what I mean is, I was willing to, if it came to that. Yeah.
Love that. That really, that's from my laptop is buzzing, sorry. That's it. I love that commitment to, like, you saw, it's like you saw the vision and you were like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that into a reality. You didn't mind that you needed to take a pay cut or do internships or volunteer, whatever. And I think that's such a key lesson. I'm like really taking notes here. So thank you. Really thank you for
Yeah.
that. Validated some thoughts that I was having. So thank you. Now back to the card game. Um, I don't know if you answered this question of what made you decide to take this step into creating a game, because I know you had the idea a little bit, but like what
Yeah.
I go from, you know, idea
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that really helped was, I remember I was thinking of it. So it's the Abbas games is like game nights and games, right? Even though we're starting with card games. So events, gaming events and gaming products. Um, and so when I started, I was like, oh, let me mention it to someone I really respect. Like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Because I was in this coaching class and they're like, if the people you respect don't know the moves they're making, I was like, okay, let me take this one. This is a lesson I can quickly do. I sent a voice note. Oh, this is what I feel in my heart, what I want to do this year. That's how the auntie said I should put it in slides. And I now have to put it in slides. And you see that thing when the Bible says, write the vision and make it clear, there's a reason. When
Yeah.
I put it in slide, that's why I can open mouth now and say two streams, gaming events and gaming products, because at that time, it was just like, yeah, so
Yeah.
I had to think, see, okay, it's gaming events. How often do you want to have those gaming events? The products, what do you want to start with? Things like that. So that was it. During the time that time that I was trying to put this together, I remember I had some sort of idea around it. I went back to what I'd written before. And I realized these same things I wanted to do, I'd written them before. So that was also like a validation, like, oh, I thought about this thing like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, and I don't even remember, but it came back again. So it was validation for me, like, okay, I need to go. At the time when I was going to do the card games, I was quite indisposed. I couldn't really mentally work. So what I would do is watch YouTube videos and all that. I was just still dragging my feet. Then I had a conversation with you, actually, and just telling you about it. And, maybe I was trying to do, maybe I should start from here, but you're like, girl, maybe you should just start from here, start from here with the analogy you gave. And um, that's just how I just started. If I was to sum it up, I would say it was writing down my thoughts, right? Like just writing it down, moving it from idea, from just a thought in my head to putting it down, and then speaking to people about it. So apart from me, I spoke to one of my other friends, Amina, and I remember telling her, I have this idea, but I'm not sure. Don't put it as part of the things to hold me accountable for, but I'm not sure, Sha. But she's like, no, I'm going to put it. Do you get? So I wrote it down and then spoke to people about it. And that just gave me like the drive that I needed um to go.
Mm.
May I remind you, may I just mention that that slide, the person that told me to do it never saw the break of day of that slide. But I was not upset because I realized that in doing that assignment, I already got what I needed. Do you get? So it was so good at the end of the day.
Amazing. So it's like
Yeah.
putting it down, put it like take it from your head, because in our head it can even feel so overwhelming. But once you put it down, you get a little bit of clarity. You share it with people that you trust, and they can give you feedback. And then I also noted about the role of mentorship, for lack of a better word, because every person has played a role, even though that person didn't see the slides. The fact that you had them to say, oh, this is what I'm thinking about, they're like, yes, go and put it down. That was also a key step for you, because if they didn't mention that to you, you probably wouldn't have thought about putting it down.
Yeah.
But community also is really important. Thank you so much. So were there moments when you felt overwhelming? Because I know how it can be, like you're taking something from your head and you're creating it. Like, how do you push through those moments where you felt like, ah, who sent me work? Why am I stressing myself about this? Like, walk us through that.
Um, yeah. Of course, there'll be moments like that. Um, One that's coming to my head, most importantly, is because of the people that I listen to, the people that I respect. Then I remember that they also have moments like that, and they are moving on. And see, what's your excuse? Keep moving. Um, Keep moving. There are moments generally, I can be quite hard on myself. So um my frustration really comes from I'm not even doing enough.
Mm,
I've done this, I should have done that. What also helps is um having, so when wanted to start, I put time blocks, because I mean I have work, everything. So I put time blocks every time that I would do it. So what happens is most of my issues were I wouldn't do anything that day, or the time has passed, I didn't have enough. I would also always tell myself that because I have those time blocks, do you get, I can always go back to it. I can always make up for that same 2 hour gap some other time. And then I will talk to, and I'm not going to be referring to you again, because really I remember sometimes I would call you and you'd be like, you just need to take it easy on yourself. So have someone who can also encourage you, not to be hard on yourself, because that's my own context. I can just be really hard on myself. And I think because I had also like set the goal for myself,
mm,
right? One thing that helped was because of I always had to finish a milestone
yeah.
because we had to test play it at the next game night.
Mm,
So like there was a time I was in Abuja, and I knew that I came for something new, but I knew that you need to print it. You need to do it because immediately you get to Lagos, it's that weekend that is the game night, and they are going to play it there. So I didn't even waste time. I was like, I need to do it. I even printed it in Abuja. I said, I can't take chances to print it in Lagos. So that helped, just having times that at set times, like, okay, this has to be done at this time. It also made me pick myself up to just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
really
then like my spirituality is very important. So I run back to God. I run back to God as well and just ask for strength
mm,
as we need.
that's really good. I found that really useful for me too. I mean, you don't set about doing it, but I think it's something that's actually I need to be more intentional about is putting myself in positions where I have to do the work because I we can make excuses for ourselves too, as well as being hard on ourselves. It's sometimes it's either extreme. But
Yeah.
because that you had the game night coming up, it forced you to follow through. Otherwise, you might be like, oh, I'll do it next week. Oh, blah blah blah. So like giving yourself actually those strict deadlines, I think is really helpful. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So now on to the good stuff. What has been the most rewarding feedback since you've launched the game, or even the game night? Because we can talk about either one. But like, what's been when you had that feedback or you had that experience, your smile just went like up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would probably start with the game night. So the trick for the game night was the first time I had it, I didn't tell people what it was so that they don't come with any expectation. Um, and so they just thought, oh, we're coming to play games. But I just put because they are Christian games that you play and all that. And I remember that night someone saying, I can't believe I had so much fun and all we played were Christian games. Do you get like everything was that I think the game nights you can see people having a good time. And I've had it with like different set of people. There are times where I invited an unusual set of people and I'm like, hey God, hope this thing will really jello. Because now you're used to like you want to invite your own kind of crowd. But they also had a good time. Like, they also had a good time. Just the feedback for that is very rewarding.
Hmm.
One thing that was also rewarding, yes, and then when they play the card game as well, I get that feedback too, and it's really rewarding. But I wouldn't forget one day when I was about to launch, and so the cards came in from the printer, like the finished final copy.
Hmm.
And I think people came around for something. I can't remember what they came around, but they left or something like that. You know how you've forgotten, you're all in the hype, and then you come back, you're alone. I was alone and I entered the room and I just saw the pack there, like finished.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wow.
Lord, we did this. Like it was, I looked at it and I'm like, wow, Sha. Like, yeah, that moment too was good. That
Amazing.
one.
Fantastic. So sometimes I wonder, like, you've got a full-time job, you're doing this, you're doing that. How do you navigate all of that? How do you manage and balance everything and still do it excellently? Because you do it excellently.
Wow. Um, secrets. There is something called the spirit of excellence. Like I say, I draw a lot from my spirituality, and there is indeed something called the spirit of excellence. Um, I probably didn't know. Not like I didn't know, because we always say that, spirit of excellence is your portion. But as I keep, I'm more aware that there is something called the spirit of excellence, and just like with any other thing, like love, like the joy, we can actually cultivate it, and it gets we can lean more into that dimension of the spirit. So that is there, right? But from the spirit, you still have to do the work. So the work part of it is that, first of all, I think I have been blessed to have been under some kind of tutelage. So that we're in the same coaching community, with someone who does multiple things, right? So it's easy for you to replicate because there are coaches who is only that is the only thing they do is that coaching. So it depends. Choose your coach wisely. But I got a lot of coaching. I remember somebody told me to one time to that the what you invest in personal development, it shows. I spent money, cash, ego, on just coaching to get the kind of systems, to put systems in place, to be sure that it was even possible. I think one of the things that coaching really does, I know that they always say it's past, but just to
Mm,
know that it is possible, that is it not that you will plan it, you will put time, you will put block, you did this, it will be done. I remember even for this, to why I'm wanting to buttress is the talking to somebody, and the printing, this was 1 month to the launch, and printing had not come out. The person was that I should cancel the event. I said, I don't understand. 1 month. What are we waiting? Like the fact that person thought it was not cancelled, sorry,
mm,
postponed. The fact that the person couldn't fathom that the it was possible to even have it done, I couldn't get it. Do you get? And I feel like that's what coaching
mm.
can do for people who don't have it. Maybe there's some people that have can do spirits and all that too. Um, and then apart from can do spirits, coaching would give you the systems and like how you can time block, how you can do. So that helped me
Yeah,
navigate. I feel like coaching did that. But apart from then the coaching is now then taking everything you've learned from coaching,
yeah,
taking the templates that you learned. The slides I told you that my mentor told me to do, it was from the template that they gave me in coaching. All the you plan to do it here. What are the things that can distract you from this?
yeah.
You will write it down. It's only you looking at the paper.
Mm,
You write it. Then there's something I always, my life, in fact, you know, when they say, what's your slogan? Is I mind my business and I drink my water. I just focus on my focus, you know. I mean, it doesn't mean like I can't be there for my friends. I may just, I might not be there in the capacity of physically being there. If I can't, if I need to, if I'm not able to attend something, I can show my support in other ways. Um, just focus on the things that are um, on your plate. Basically, that has helped. Yeah. And then just block out time, have some sort of structure. That's really it. Just have some sort of structure. Have some sort of structure to it. And then ask people that are doing multiple things how they are doing it. If you will not even, if someone does not even do coaching, please, oh, how are you doing it? Please, because I'm here struggling with one and you are doing three. You have to follow Uno road, though.
what
Do
is
you
it?
get? Because you can get like some productivity tools
Yeah,
that help, like, oh, this person is saying, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I set alarms. My friends are always laughing, Madam Alarm, but it works for me. It does work for me. So, yeah, I would say put some structure in place, and speak to people who are doing multiple things and
mm,
are not dropping the ball.
mm.
Because, some multiple things type of people that, but yeah. Because if you cannot get proper coaching, I mean, just speaking to people generally, um, get the advice can help.
I love that you said. In fact, you know, I already love you. So, well, I love everything that you said because, I mean, I think that it took me a while to get into like that. Coaching is an important tool, mindset, but it actually is. I mean, the top athletes they have coaches. Like the top business people they have coaches. So it's really important.
Our coaches have coaches.
Exactly. So I think it's really important if you want to like level up, if you want to go, if you feel like if you're feeling stuck in the level that you're in and you know that you can do more, but you've tried on your own and it's just not working out, I think coaching is really useful. Mentorship too, she mentioned that like that's is such a crucial thing because I think seeing a reality of what it is that you're trying to become in someone, they're already embodying it. Like it just makes sense that you try to learn what you can from them. Even if you can't access them directly, you can buy their books Lots of people do courses these days. They're sharing a lot of things on social media.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't got the money for coaching, although I think that there's different levels of coaching, so you can always find something to tap into. But if you still are feeling like tight on money, there's so many resources out there. So just do what you can at the level that you're at, and then as you're growing and you have more access to resources, then I would recommend that you absolutely do find a coach that you, like she said, is manifesting what it is that you want. Because if you're trying to get
Yes.
to
So,
A, B, and your coach is still struggling at a lower, like it doesn't make any sense for you to go to that coach. So, and then the structure, like there's no, like structure is so essential because I feel like,
yeah.
especially if you want to be, in fact, I believe everyone has the capacity to create. So if you do want to create something, if you want to build something, you need structure. It's the foundation, it's the tools that you use to build. It allows you
Mm.
play around and have a little bit more fun because you know that there's something that, is holding you and guiding you. So absolutely,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Now,
And like there's something that's just to put in there about the structure too is you would say something like have the structure so that even when you miss it or you stop doing it, you can come back to
yeah,
doing it. Like, oh, there was a time, I'll wake up by 5, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. So when you don't even do it for a month, 2 months, you can come back to it when you're in a season where you need to focus,
yeah,
right? But if you don't even have anything at all,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I hope as you're listening that, if it's something that you've been thinking about, please get some structure into your life. It really can be very, very simple. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. Like she said, starting with even setting alarms, time blocks, those things, you don't need any special software. You just need to set an alarm.
Yeah.
If you've got a phone and you're watching this, every phone has an alarm. Even if it's not a phone that has internet or anything. Just simple things. Commit to it and then just follow through. Right? Do what you can at that level. Thank you so much. So now I love I love sharing, or shall I say sharing or collating lessons to share with the younger generation. So, and I always think it's so useful when you look back at your life. If you could look back to your younger self, maybe when you're 18 or 21, like if you give one
Ah,
piece of advice to that girl,
let
um,
me look back at you, girl.
that thing on Instagram.
Um,
If you had a meeting with your younger self, someone said, "Oh, I would slap her," or some stupid thing. But like, what would you say to that girl? Like one piece of advice that you feel like would be so helpful for her, so helpful.
um, wow. I need to actually let me see what would be so helpful. I would say, um,
Because she's young. You can't give her anything too serious or complex. You've got to.
yeah, do you get? Because at the end of the day, they gave me advice. I did not take it to. I did not take it. I had to come and see with my own eye. They gave me plenty advice.
Yeah.
So what I would say is it's um it's maybe not too late to start doing the right things. Do you get? It's never too late and it's never too early to start doing the right things. Is is what I would say. Um, yeah. I think, yeah, it's not too, because sometimes people feel like, oh, they have all their life ahead of them. I would worry about this later. Do you
Mm,
get? But why are you worrying about it later? Why don't you get your acts together now? Do you get?
yeah.
Um, Younger self, imagine if we started
Mm,
at that time, by now
mm,
we'll be retiring, or just, or just yeah. So it's never too early, it's never too late to get your acts together. But since I'm talking to my younger self, I'll say it's never too early to get your life together. I
mm,
feel like sometimes, or in my case, I just thought like there's a whole life ahead and we'll figure it out, as we go. But figuring out is your daily, everything you do every day. The good choices that you make every day is
mm,
what sums that person that you want to be, in future. You are not going to just appear and be that person.
Yeah.
No. I'm so sorry. That's not how it works. Sorry to bust your bubble, but that's not how it works. You're not just going to appear there, snap a picture with her, and manifest it. Do you get? No. You actually have to put in
Oh,
work
yeah.
to be, and that is in the decisions that you make, the friends that you keep,
Mm,
the 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 person you become really in every day as you wake up is who then produces you to be that image of that person that you want to be.
mm.
So start now, basically. Start now.
That's so validating because I've really been thinking about, how important it is to kind of, especially when you're younger, to try to visualize at the very least, like who it is that you want to become. I know you can't obviously see the full picture, even now as we're older, whatever it is that we're imagining, we can't really see the full picture anyways. But I think it's such a useful exercise for younger people to do is like sit down and think about it within the confines of what you know right now and what you've seen out there. Like, which person do I even want to become? Once you kind of get that picture in your mind, I think it opens up so many opportunities because once you have clarity on that, then when you see a picture of that person out there, then you can recognize, oh, this
Yeah,
actually looks like the person that I want to become. Then you can start to
yeah,
follow that person, and then you can start to see, okay, what are the things that they're doing? What kind of qualifications do they have? What kind of training have they done? And how can I start to, plug myself into those spaces and things like that? So I think that's really good advice because yeah, it's not too early. Like I
yeah.
go back me too. That's what I was like, Madam, let's get going. Stop wasting
Ah, let's start. So, hey,
the
yeah,
box.
it's not too early.
Feel like we're just ticking the box. Let's just get through school or whatever. Let's just get the certificate so that our parents will not say that we wasted their money. Let's just get the job so that we can be making money. But there's more to
Yeah.
that. You've got to look at your life in a more holistic viewpoint. You've got to look at your life as a project that's actually worth the time and investment to do it well. Um so thanks for that. Now, a little bit back to the card game. Like someone thinking of creating a novel product like that, like what advice would you offer to them? Now, looking back at all the lessons that you've learned and the different steps and processes that you went through, like what one advice would you offer to someone thinking of creating something like that?
I mean, like, just like Nike, just do it.
Good one.
Just do it. I mean, it would evolve. You never know until you start.
Mm,
So the cards that we see now has evolved. And in fact, even I'm trying to do trademarks, everything. I'm like, Holy Spirit, is this the final? Because so that we can trademark because it can change, but you don't know anything that needs that the work you need to do until you just start. Start small, start small. Write it down, start small, test it out with people right? At first, then test it out with people you don't know.
mm,
Test it out with people um that is not their thing, and test it out with people that's their thing. What helped me with the cards was the different sets of people that I kept bringing in to test at the same time, and then soliciting for feedback.
mm.
People know me and feedback. My feedback, you can't just give me like eba without soup. No, 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 no.
Bye.
You have to specifically tell me the things. Don't be carried away with it's nice. It's fantastic. What's making it fantastic? So that you know what you're getting right.
Yeah.
And if no, I'm not feeling it, what you're getting wrong. Okay, why aren't you feeling it? Yeah, and I would just say just do it as it comes to you. Do it bit by bit. Don't put too much resources at
Mm,
the beginning until you keep going. And as you keep going, it becomes clearer. That's just the truth. If you don't start, you are not sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even think that is I mean, you may start out thinking that this is what you're building, which is to hold water, right? But as you keep going, you realize that probably this is what you need. They are both still holding water. So it's not like if you don't know what you are doing. But as it's coming, because we humans, we receive, how does ZDK say, like what it's just in our soul. We've not really translated it out into how it's supposed to manifest. But we can just be feeling, yeah, I need something that's going to hold water. I need something that's going to hold water. But this is exactly where you are going to, but you can't really tell until you even start. And starting out may look like this.
Yeah.
It's still holding the water, but then you realize, oh, I think I need one that needs cover. Let's put cover.
Yeah.
Then like, oh, I think I realized that straw.
Mm. So I
I
mean,
think it's so much better. You get but you wouldn't know that if you don't start. Right.
that's
And if you don't start small, you'd have gone to go and print 500 before you realize that they
oh
need cover.
yeah, that's so
Yeah. And if you don't test it out, you don't know that there's some people that when they drink the water like this, it spills. So maybe, or when you test it now, realize that some people they will drink the water, they will leave it like this. So we need cover.
mm,
Or maybe some people will be drinking it as they're moving. So that's what all those things that testing would help to do,
yeah,
right? And even if it's not a product, even if it's a service,
yeah,
with the game, it got better because I would ask feedback. Okay, what do you think we should do here? What do you think? So whatever it is, really, um, just do it. Just start
yeah,
small, and then keep going. Yeah, and I think document your process. That's
yeah,
important too. And you
yeah,
can see where you're coming from and where you are and all that. So document your process.
yeah. That's so yeah. This is so good. This is like a master class. I hope you guys are taking notes too, because this is like real practical like lessons. Like
Yeah.
oh, the more I guess I grow and I evolve, the more I realize that everything that you're taught in school, it's like when you see it being practiced, like you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, and I think we need to try our best to try to make lessons as simple as possible, so it doesn't seem too complex for people, and they're like, the theory of the whatever. No, there's no long story about it. This is just a simple. She's giving
Yeah.
very simple with the cup example, and that's so so good. Honestly. And you know what? Every single product that we love right now today started just like that. Absolutely. Like the iPhone now,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you compare this, I don't know which one, whether this is 13 to like the one or two or three, like
First
the
one that came out.
idea is still the same, but it's so much better. Imagine if what's his name? Steve Jobs decided that he wasn't going to he wasn't going to design the phone. He wasn't going to, it's too scary. So like every single person, no matter how grand or big they look on the billboard, on the TV, on whatever platform it is that you're looking at and thinking that your own can never be as good enough. They started somewhere too. Even what's his name? Bill.
Yeah.
Yes, they started somewhere. What's that his name, right? The Microsoft guy, is his name Bill Gates, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Because I
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I remember reading his story. There's some luck that comes into play, but the luck cannot, how do I say, the luck
If
cannot,
you have not done anything,
exactly.
ah,
Luck
the
cannot,
luck will live manifest in empty space. Do you get?
preparation has this,
And I think the best mindset to have,
yeah,
yeah, when preparation meets opportunities, that happens. And I think the best mindset to have is, what is the worst that can happen?
yeah,
If it doesn't work out, you've learned something. Do you get?
yeah,
So for me to, I mean, yes, we have God, God is there, God is directing, that. But there's that, Shay, if this one does not work, at least I know that next time I should not make the cup with glass. I should try it another way.
yeah,
And then you now hear stories of Elon Musk will tell you how many times he failed. Even Steve Jobs will tell you how many times. Like,
yeah,
hello, if those people fail, then who are you? Please sit down. If the first one did not work, you do again. It's not like Why do you now think your own is special when the people you are looking up to
too.
and idolizing, they even
Yeah.
hello. Even though it was all in God's plan, when he created Adam, the first Adam, did they not bring second Adam? Did God not do first covenant and bring second covenant? So what's your own at the end of the day? Do you get, like, it's not that deep. You just keep learning lessons, like and that's the best thing. There's something that Rihanna said that she tattooed on her body, and then I just thought it was cool. But as I grew, I realized it's true. It's never a failure. It's always a lesson.
Mm.
So if it doesn't work out the way you had planned it to be, it's not a failure. You've learned something. If somebody wants to come and do that same thing,
Yeah.
you know how to advise them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. That
That,
thing has become useful data that people can buy. People can buy itself. That this is your experience. Come and tell us.
hey, come.
So most of the reason why people don't want to do stuff is, what if it fails? What if it is? But if our mindsets can shift that, last, I've shall learned that,
Yeah.
okay, not, or this, or, you know,
Yeah.
that can also help.
Mm. That's so good. That is so good. You know what I think would be really useful is because I remember when I was younger, like my when you ask you what do you do, you don't say oh, I do accounting or I work in an accounting firm. Most of the time you say I'm an accountant or
Yeah.
so a lot of the times we've tied our identity to what we do. So it makes it really difficult for us to try to explore and do different things because you feel like if you fail at those things, then you have failed. So I think it's also a key mindset shift, like when you realize that the things that you're doing, they're not who you are. That's just separate. It's just you're just exploring and trying out different things. It's okay. If you fail at those things, doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you tried something out, it didn't work out. Hey,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, it's on to nice parlor conversation. Oh, you know that there was a time where I was,
Yeah. But you know, it sounds easy to say this now because there was a time where it would have been really hard for us to be able to like take all this.
yeah,
But I think that having that clarity on yourself, like your identity, knowing that it's not tied to who you it's not tied to what you do. It's just you are yourself, you are your own person. That clarity on identity, that confidence really makes a big
yeah,
difference. I would say like, if anyone's like struggling a little bit in this regard, because sometimes you're hearing people saying something, it's not entering your head properly because there's something that's blocking it. So I would say if you're really struggling and you're listening to everything that we're saying, yeah, like it's easy for you guys to say. It's easy for us to say because we actually walked and went through all of the did the hard work. So you've got to do that
yeah.
hard work to first do the hard work within yourself. Sit down with yourself and like, who am I self? What am I about? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Even start as something as simple as do I like ice cream? Do I like vanilla ice cream? Do I like those questions
Don't
seem
be calling on this ice cream that will now come and be looking for ice cream this night.
sorry. Those
And
questions
I'll be dragging to Cold Stone.
simple or but I think that introspection, it starts a journey
Yeah.
of like digging deeper into really being honest with yourself about what you like and who you are. Instead of letting others define it for you and just taking on maybe what your parents have told you or what you learned in school, you start to go on that journey and digging deeper, like, okay, this is actually what makes me tick. This is what I care about. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. Okay, so how can I go from where I am to the next step? Do I need to take some courses? Do I need to, take a program? Do I need to find a coach? Do I need to do mentorship? Do I need to follow this certain person on social media? There's so many steps, but you've got to start. Start, start.
Yeah.
We've got daily reminder in my house about bed and bath time, so it was just going off now. 1 second, please. All right, so we've had such a great time. Um, Let me see. I feel like you've answered so many of the questions without me even asking you.
Okay.
Um, but I don't
Okay.
I think did you mention earlier, I think you did about like what really inspired you to create the game nights. Like what
Yes, that generally like I enjoy those
yeah.
type of gatherings. And then um I just had this budding of why can't Christians gather and just have a good time? Like I wanted to be in circles where we're gisting, we're playing, and I still feel edified like when I'm leaving. I'm not trying to check my conscience like, oh, can I do this? This, that, or come back and I'll be saying, ah, but
Yeah.
or I don't know. You get I really one thing that has helped me is my space. I feel like people are different.
Mm,
People have um I think it's what we call in Christianity. Should I say maybe like consecrations? But I feel like my space or the gatherings I'm in just has something to do with my energy, and there's just something. Um, so I was becoming more aware of that, and I really wanted those type of atmospheres where we are vibing and then we're having conversations, meaningful conversations. We're playing games that are interesting. And generally, all those things make me tick. Like, even now, when I think about it, I'm like, God, all these desires,
mm,
is it that I had, maybe you put them because of assignments you were giving me? Because, if you see me, I like Christian movies, anything like, I'll just like, oh, like my movies, like, I'm still planning on when I will binge The Chosen. Things, all those things fascinate me. Everything that is, I mean, the conventional way, but generally like non-conventional things around Christian culture, I'm interested.
yeah.
Uh, so it
Yeah.
was, I thought it was a burden. I thought it was me until I received a name
Mm,
for the game night. And I was like, oh, wow. So this is not me. This is not just me thinking is a nice to have. This is actually, oh, we are doing this. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Mm.
Okay, that's
But I
fine.
mean, I like to think of it as it's both because
Yeah.
he's such a good father and he's so intentional. But if you're not like a Christian or believer, I want to put it in this way, like, um, I believe that I'm not an atheist. I mean, well, I can't speak to the atheists. I can only speak to people that believe that there is a God. But I believe that we're created by God. And so if we're created by God that has created needs us in such a complex, beautiful way, He's an intentional God, meaning that everything that he does for a reason. So if there's been something in your heart that you've been thinking about, when you see somebody talking about it on social media, it just makes your heart do boom boom, you know. Or you see someone doing that like, oh, I can do this better, or don't leave it at that. Like, don't let it die within you. Like, find a way to find a creative outlet for it. It can start with maybe contributing on someone else's project. It can start from you just doing a little bit of research and testing it out, like she said. But don't say, oh, it's not a big deal, or it's just me having fantasies. No, it's something that you can
Mhm.
find a way to like use as an outlet. So don't let it die. There's a space for each and every one of us and our unique giftings and our unique interests. Like for her now, she loves all of these things that she said, and she found a way to like create something beautiful and unique about it. You might be thinking to yourself, ah, me, I have the same exact idea. Oh, she has already done it. What's the point of me doing it? No, there's something unique that you add to your own special mix. Please go ahead and do it anyways. So please, we're sharing these lessons. They're really like we've made it very, very simple and easy to follow because we too, we're human beings. We're just everyday people like you, and we're just figuring it out and sharing our lessons as we're going. So whatever it is that has been put in your heart to do, whatever, just find a creative outlet, find a way to make it happen. There's something that it says in the Bible, like hope deferred makes the heart weak. In simple terms, it means that when you have something that you aspire to do and you don't do anything about it, you just look at it, it makes you jaded, for lack of a better word. That's just honest truth. If you got an idea and you've not done anything about it, when you see other people doing something, you'll be like, ah, you kind of have like a snide response to
Yeah.
them about it because you know in your heart that you could have done something with your own, you didn't do it. So when you see other people doing it, instead of you being, wow, that's amazing, you now become, in Nigerian parlance, they say bad belle, like you're jealous or envious, and it just wrecks your heart. And just like taints everything that you're doing. So I think I'm just using this as a way to encourage you. Whatever it is that you've said in your heart, that's in your heart that you want to do, please just do it. Find a way, do it. If you're needing support or advice, hit me up in my DMs or whatever. Just find a way, find an outlet, please. Okay. So now, obviously, you started from games night, then you went to the card game. How do you see this card game, this game nights, like maybe 5 years from now? What impact do you think it's gonna have on your community, maybe even your country? Like, what are your grand plans? Maybe you can share just a little bit with us.
So I think that one thing that is important to me, I must say, is just really the mindset. So when I have these game nights, you see people, unfortunately, because I was trying to reach different people, everybody would want to come back. When are we meeting again next time? When is the next one? But I'm like, let me give another person chance to experience it. You guys can. The whole point for me is you've experienced it even in your own homes. Gather people. Like, it's the mindset for me that what we're spreading is, yes, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is God, but Jesus is also fun,
Mm,
right? So my greatest desire at whatever capacity or level that would manifest in is that people get that mindset that, because I had it too when I was growing up. Like I remember there's one of my childhood friends, she said her sister was born again. I'll not be like, but she does not look like the people that are born again. The girl will not be like, is she supposed to now be wearing Miriam Maka? There was just something, I never got it. I didn't understand. It didn't, I mean, now it's a lot better, Sha. Christian culture is a lot better, but um, I've heard people derail, like people who were on a path, and then when they went to uni, out of boredom, out of even this popular actress, I say actress, Pastor Stephanie Ike, she said that when she went to college, she told God, say, God, I'm bored. There's nothing to do here apart from to be, so just to have that mindset that um the community of believers can have a good time, right? Yes, we gather to pray, yes, we gather to study, but Jesus is not a chore. Do you get? He's your friend, and with your friend,
mm,
you would, I mean, there are different dimensions to the friendship. There's the times where we are playing, there's the times where we are strategizing, there's the times where we are being intimate. Do
yeah.
you get? And then just for people to be able to see that side of him, right? To see that dimension of him. And that is what I'm praying would be impact, whatever how that looks like, how the games and even the events will be a connector for people, for like families. I know some parents who can be very rigid, and then there's really no way to connect with the kids in terms of when it comes to the topic of Christianity, that those games can be connectors, they can be things that will bring people together, bring like families together. Because sometimes it might be difficult to rewire the the parents are already old, but I know like games like that, Shey Sha Bible, it will interest them, right? And then it is also relatable to the family. So I'm hoping that, or my greatest desire is that it would be a connector, bring families together, bring people together. It will bring even those who are not in the Christian fold, who have always looked at it like those people, I beg you, please, I will not just be going to church and reading Bible, I will not be doing anything, that they can see it and find Jesus attractive. Do
Yeah.
you get? Like, is a lifestyle. It's not just segments of, you have people who they have segments. These are my church friends. These are my have a good time friends. These are my strategy friends. But that he can fit into all the boxes. Um, And however that is manifested on a global scale, on a national scale, however it is that God wants that to amplify it, that is really what I want it to be, that it will just be a blessing. And then there's also a prayer that I pray. There's a part in scripture that says the ark of God was put in somebody's house and then things started manifesting. I believe strongly that these cards were inspired by God, and that in any house that it's in, and anywhere that it is, it will just be releasing the blessing, releasing the blessing. Like there's also one movie I watched, it's a normal movie, I think it's fiction, but that they had some statue in the place, the thing used to bring bad luck. So
Uh-oh.
I'll be like, if you can bring this card, you can bring good luck. When people come and gather for the game night, I'm always like, anyone who is depressed, who is in a dark place, when they leave, that thing, once they come in there and experience like game nights with the Father, all those things are departed. Do you get, like, deliverance can take place because it's still in the presence of God. So those are the desires, and I hope that I have for it on whatever scale that will be. As a foot soldier, what I'm also doing in place, in terms of just putting Abba's games on the map, is just trying to replicate what has been given to me in different cities, so that these desires that I feel as I enter the cities too, it can manifest there. So I'm currently in another city. I'm in Abuja. We have like a game night coming up as well,
Okay.
in Abuja, and then just plan to replicate that in as many cities as possible. Have the cards in as many cities as possible for people to buy them, interact with them, have a good time with them, and just vibing with God wherever He's taking it. We're going, we move.
All the
Um,
all the way. So you've heard that you never know she might be in your city. So you know what? One of my favorite things about the game is that it shows me a picture of how God planned it from the beginning. It's like, because if there wasn't any sin, or this is how we would be having fun. There wouldn't be like any funny business, all of that. So I just love that it's such a picture and an image of that reality. And I love that even no matter how different it is. I saw something on Instagram the other day. This lady shared how she joined this dancing group when she was a teenager, and was a Christian dancing group, and how, just being in a part of that dancing group like shaped her life and just set her on a really right course, and how like she just, learned to know more about God through the dance group. And sometimes when you're sitting down and you get this idea, you're like, how can this idea doesn't make any sense? How can God use this to do anything like real? Just this is just a wonderful example
yeah,
of night and the card. It's
yeah.
like every single idea that he's releasing to us, because I
Mhm.
believe, this is not like a Christian whatever. It's not Christian centered, but like we're Christians, so it's always going to it's going to overflow in everything that we do, and there's freedom. But I know that he's going to be releasing so many ideas to people. So this is my own way of like getting people like, you can do it, you can do it, you really can.
Yeah.
No idea is too like, as long as it's like it's not like sinful or evil or illegal, like no idea is too like weird, for lack of a better word. Don't try to put God in a box. Don't try to put yourself in a box. Look at me now. They are calling me author. Me from where to where. I'm a chartered accountant. If you go to my
Yeah.
link, you're gonna see ACCA there. That was a big part of my identity until like maybe 4 years ago, and there's so many opportunities to like to reflect your nature in so many different ways. So don't put yourself in a box. Don't put God in a box. Be open-minded. And just try to have fun with it. I just
Yeah.
how happy I am that we're sitting people are watching us on LinkedIn Live, and we're just being ourselves. Like I'm just thinking back like 10 years ago, I would have been overthinking in my head, what's the next thing to say? How is the best to do I say?
I know, right?
Look,
I
the
know.
have just sitting here and chatting with my friend, like I want it for every single person. Like it's so freeing
Yeah.
having a conversation. And as you're having that conversation, you know that you're sharing something that actually can help people's lives because it has helped you too. I think it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but so can you tell us where we can find the card games, the game nights, whatever it is? Are you on social media? Have you got a website? Where can we buy the game? Just tell us a little bit so that we can, keep up with you.
Yeah, so to keep up with me, first is just to follow us on Instagram. We are Abba's Game Night, not Abba's Games, because Abba's Games, one Abba's Games. If you know any Abbas, go and warn them. They took that out. They got that account name before us. So it's Abba's Game Night on Instagram. And then there's a link in the bio that has all the details, but just in case you want to get the cards, it's on Seller. And then it's on Seller. You can order it. We can have it delivered to you in the UK, in the US, and of course, all across Nigeria.
I just saw that we have a question. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Ebiseri is asking, how do you know the difference between what God wants you to take on and just a nice idea you have? This is in reference to and within the context of living within the purpose of God for you.
Yeah. For me, I would say there are a lot of ideas that come into our hearts. There was a time I had one idea, like it came and I was even like, yeah, with even name, like not name, not that it came with name, but I was like, oh, I can call it this. Um, but if it's I this is my opinion that if it's God, the idea would brood. It will keep, it wouldn't fade off. Do you get? I mean, it's not like if him to after a while, if he tell you, he may just leave you. But generally, with I feel like there's so many things that will come into your heart, but the ones that are God, especially if you are rooted in Him, those ones will be louder. They will keep resounding. You keep hearing confirmations. You go to, He will use different words. So you can be here now. There may be one example that we don't know we've given,
Mm,
but it will tick. Then you're in church one day and all of a sudden the pastor is talking and he says one other thing. Then you just open YouTube and the angels will just be telling you, Madam, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then when you are not sure, or even with that, people like me, oh, because I can Gideon myself, I will still pack everything and be like, Father, this is what I'm hearing. Oh. As in, are you saying we should, you know, or this was the last thing I heard. Now I'm hearing this. Um, which one should it be?
mm,
Or which one should I prioritize? So yeah, I think that would be how typically it will work for me. People have different ways that God speaks to them, but I know when it's God, the voices are loudest. You would then hear it when you're not even thinking about it. There's sometimes that when it's not anything about it, it will just be like somebody dropped it into my spirit, and then I can pray more into it and just check and be sure, get wise counsel to see, and I'll move if everything checks out.
mm, that's really good. For me, I think take it back to him. Lay it at
Mm.
his feet and well, die to it for lack of a better word. And if he wants it, he'll resurrect it back again, which I think is pretty much what you said as well. And one thing that really just freed me from overthinking these things is that you have to get to a point where you trust that God is actually speaking to you. Um, and just get on with it, right? There's no harm in testing out a thing, right? That's why we say when you've got an idea, don't immediately like put $10,000 on it. Like, try it out and see what comes out of it. During that process, because you're a child of God and you're constantly, because that's why it's really important that you have that quiet time with God, that you're spending time with Him, because those are the moments where you hear Him telling you, oh, this one you are doing, it doesn't make sense. Or this one, yeah, go on. This is what I'm thinking.
Mm.
This. Um, because DDK, we've talked about it a few times, but she said that have been given certain responsibilities on earth, and as a governing body, we've been given the authority to, subdue and have dominion and all of that stuff. So create your plans, say this is what you want to do, take it to him, and then just get on with it. As you are doing it, if he wants you to course correct, you hear it. If he doesn't want you, if he wants you to continue, that's where all of that check-ins when you hear the pastor talking about, yeah, oh, okay, great, I'm on the right path, blah, blah, blah. But don't let overthinking like make you like, oh, I need to make sure that God will say, my son, my daughter, go ahead. At some point, I think as even on earth, like when you've got like in the UK, for instance, you've got the king and you when the king says this is your role, you're in charge of this county, you don't need to keep going back to the king at every step. Obviously, you keep the channels open of communication open. But because you've been given that responsibility, you also have a certain role of stewardship to make some plans in line with who the king is, your father, what he has already told you to do concerning your life. All of those things come into play. And then again, going back to what she said about, mentorship and having people that you trust that, are more mature than you that can kind of guide you. Because all those things you mentioned at the beginning about when you shared the pitch or they said put it in the slides, all of that stuff. Those were God's ways of guiding you back to that idea. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
And
we've
sometimes you may have
please,
the what,
yeah,
but need like to get the how
yeah,
correctly, or the when, or
yeah,
the where. You get
yeah.
so that or that they say in multitude of counsel there is safety. I mean, how is it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many biblical truths that are like really wise lessons. In fact, all of it is. So I think we've come to the end. My children are downstairs crying and calling me. So, but thank you so much. This was so
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and then like I mean, like even me, I'm just like I'm just pitying with God. But
fun.
that's the thing about when you've done things. It's not like you have to go and start researching. You are just saying the one that you know, like pick the one that is for you. The one that is not for you, another you
Mm,
just that's the beauty about just doing.
yes.
Like I feel like that's the takeout that everybody should have from you. Just do. As you do, you get better as you do. I remember a time where I'll sit down here and just be like, how can somebody just be answering and be talking and be this and be that? But it's because the person too has done something now, and the person is coming to say the one that they know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you
True.
get
But
that's just
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining this live,
thank you.
for your
Thank
time.
you so much
God bless
for
you.
me.
Okay, I'll catch you on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you guys so much. I'll hopefully, I don't know if we're going to do one next month, but definitely gonna have another one very soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope that you've enjoyed this live. Have a great evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.